Hey, this is Walt from StogieReview.com as well as WaltonPA.com, and as you can tell by that catchy little intro where you're probably tapping your foot to the music, it's time for another humidor diving video. Now, if you remember watching the last one, I had mentioned that I want to spread these out a little bit, but you're probably wondering, well, why are you doing them back to back if you want to stretch them out a little bit? Well, as it turns out, I tried to record a little bit of video the other day, and I got nothing recorded to the tape. So my camera is kind of on the fritz. I've got it hardwired direct to my Mac, and I'm sort of capturing the video as I go. And it can be a little finicky doing things this way. I've got a cleaning tape on the way. I want to see if that'll take care of the issue. If not, I guess my old camcorder will be tossed, and you know, it'll be time to upgrade. So I want to kind of limp through this little humidor diving video and take a look at a cigar. So join me, if you will, for the journey through my third Coolador in the collection. Alright, this is Cooler 3, so let's take a magical journey inside and see what we can find. A lot of kind of stuff sitting on top. Some Rocky Patel stuff, La Habana, an old Ramon Ionis, Jericho by Camacho. Nah, we won't look inside there, it might be incriminating. Some old stuff from Famous. Not quite sure where that came from. More incriminating stuff. You know what? Some old Battleground stuff. I haven't had one of these in forever. I wonder if I have one of the old powder kegs, which would be kind of cool, but it doesn't look like I have one. That was a powerful little stick. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I have one. There's some interesting stuff. Fuente, oh, Power Ranger. I didn't even know I had one. Viaje, kind of looking intriguing. I have no idea what it is. I've had very few of them. So we'll set that aside. Keep digging. Oliva bundles. Some more random stuff. Like more Oliva stuff. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I want to give that Viaje a try. There's a gold mine down there with old Tatuaje. I'm not quite sure where that came from. Is that a Laura Preferido Lancero? Didn't even know I had it. I should dig around these coolers a little more often. Alright, so the cigar that interests me the most out of this little this humidor diving expedition is going to be that Viaje. So I think that's what we're going to smoke. Don't know what it is, but I'm going to give it a try. So let's fire it up and see how it goes. Well, as you saw, I selected the Viaje. At the time of selecting the cigar, I had no idea what it was, so I went over to the Viaje website and just started poking around to see if I could find this particular cigar, and sure enough, I did. The website is it made me laugh a little bit. It's not quite as bad as Rocky's old website, where he was sort of floating through the tobacco field, but Andre Farkas sitting, you know, bolt upright with a fireball coming out of his hand was amusing. But I was able to track down the cigar. It is the Oro by Viaje, and a little bit of information on this cigar is just that it has a Corojo 99 wrapper. It's made of grade A long fillers. It's made in the Res Cubanas factory in Nicaragua, I believe. Nicaraguan Puro, full bodied, select Corojo 99 wrapper, Nicaraguan double binders, Nicaraguan grade A long fillers, yada yada yada, Cuban triple cap. Alright, so let's light it up and see how it goes. Again, I'm trying to keep these videos relatively short, and I don't have a cutter. So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. So just kind of looking over the cigar before I got started, it looks pretty good. If anything, the cap is a little shallow. You know, it didn't fold over the shoulder very far. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. If I had a cutter, it wouldn't be too much of a problem, but since I'm sitting here trying to slice it with a fingernail and just get the cigar open, I've done this lots of times with varying success. It's kind of sloppy. I'll go back and clean it up after I turn the camera off. Maybe I'll clean it up now. Alright, so I had to go track down my cutter. I wasn't able to get a real clean opening, and the draw is kind of stiff. And judging by the way this cigar feels, I would imagine that draw should be a little on the loose side, which is right where I prefer it. It opened up a little bit with a cutter, but I have to start smoking a little bit and see what happens. So anyway, my experience with Viaje is very, very limited. I don't think I've ever been in a store in Pennsylvania that carried the line. I have tried some from time to time. Viewers have been kind enough to send me one here and there. I've tried some from trade show samples, but you know, I've never had a really big experience with them. You know, and if you've learned anything from watching these videos, most of the time, if I can't find it local, I generally don't smoke it. The exception of that rule being that if I can order it from Buckhead, I'll order it. But if Buckhead doesn't carry it, if I can't get it locally, I usually don't smoke it. Now, generally, these Humidor diving videos come with a little bit of a story, but I had no idea that I even had this cigar. I don't remember where I got it. I don't know where I would have gotten it from. I was in a cooler that I rarely go into, so I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine as far as age of the cigar is concerned. I would guesstimate 2 years or better. So I got the cigar lit. The draw is a little stiff. I want to kind of massage it a little bit, see if I can get it to loosen up, and I'm going to smoke a little bit more. I'll come back. We'll take a peek at how the aged Viaje Oro is smoking, and then we'll play it by ear. If the time is getting a little high on the video, then we'll wrap it up when I come back. If not, you know, maybe we'll come back and sneak in 2 little video bites. So sit tight, and I will be right back. Well, I'm about halfway through my Viaje Oro, and as you can see, I had a little bit of a falling out with this particular cigar. I got some wrapper pulling away, and that was completely my fault. I was sitting here trying to loosen up the draw, and I was kind of rolling it in my hands, trying to move the tobacco around, and a lot of times when I do that, I get some tobacco movement, and then the draw will loosen up a little bit. I don't know whether there's a little twist in there or what's going on with the cigar, but despite it feeling a little on the spongy side, where normally you'd pick the cigar up and say, wow, you know, this doesn't feel overly hard, this should draw really well. You know, despite having that feel to it, once opened up, I was really struggling to get any kind of smoke through it. After breaking the wrapper, I'm getting a much better smoke volume, but it's, you know, it's not looking so good. And again, it's completely my fault. In the flavor department, it's got kind of a woody, kind of a leathery taste to it. There's a little bit of sweetness, and there's some spice through the sinus. I'm really liking the flavor profile. It's a little aggressive on the back of my throat. My throat's just kind of feeling scratchy from it, and that's from retrohaling the smoke. As far as the body is concerned, it's medium to full. The finish is neutral. It's not creamy, but it's not dry. And all in all, it's a decent cigar. For as long as it's been sitting around, I was really expecting the flavors to marry a little more, where I would get more of a, not so much as a one-dimensional taste, but something more combined and not so, I don't know, I guess the best word for it is dynamic. You know, I'm able to pick out these little nuances, and a lot of times I don't get that from an aged cigar. They sort of marry together, and you get one interesting flavor rather than a bunch of different flavors. catch where I'm going here. But I like it. So far, so good. Again, I want to kind of keep these videos relatively short, so with that said, I'm going to take another quick little break. I'll be back in just a second, and I'll wrap up this video, and I'll let you be on your way. Well, welcome back. It's about time to close out my Viaje Oro review, my little humidor diving video here. And as you can see, I'm past that part of the wrapper that I busted all up trying to loosen up the draw. But you know, my throat's really getting irritated at this point. The smoke is kind of aggressive. It's still medium to full. Neutral in terms of finish. Not dry, but it's not creamy either. It's not aggressive on the palate, but it's aggressive on my throat. And that's kind of getting in the way of the flavors. I was really enjoying those sort of woody leather tones and a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of spice through the sinus when you retrohale. But it all comes back to the smoke is really beating up my throat. I'm having a hard time getting past that and enjoying the flavors. As I said before, I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Viaje line in general, but I have had a couple of the Platinos, and I think, personally, I think that the Platino is a far better cigar. I just remember those being much more rich and having more flavor depth, and I don't remember getting the sore throat that I'm getting with this. Again, this could be just a bad stick or something that's been sitting around for a couple of years, but you know, I'm not loving it at this point. I have fonder memories of that Platino from, you know, I probably smoked that cigar over a year ago. As far as the construction goes, now that I'm past that split or that crack in the wrapper, you know, it's not causing any problems. The ash is nice and it's holding a nice tight compacted shape. The burn line is thin and even. The smoke volume is still a little lacking. The draw is a bit stiff, but you know, all in all, it was a solid cigar that just kind of irritated my throat, and that's kind of been the downfall the entire way. So that's going to close out this humidor diving video. So I guess I successfully limped through this video with a camera that's sort of halfway working. So hopefully the next time you see me, I'll have this problem resolved and I'll be able to do the longer videos without fear of things just crashing and dying on me. So until next time, happy smoking, and I will catch you later.